you sometimes feel a bit silly when you're scared by something, and the shame of it means that you try to pretend to everybody else around you that you're absolutely fine. But isn't that absolutely exhausting? Welcome aboard. I had a fantastic day yesterday. I went down to the Experimental Aircraft Association down in Oshkosh, Wisconsin with my crew members. And I ended up going flying. And it wasn't in a Gulfstream that I'm normally flying. It was in an absolutely stunning 1927 Swallow open cockpit biplane. And I felt really quite special. I felt very, very privileged, very grateful, because I've never been in such a historic aeroplane as that before. And as we ran on down the runway, I had that wonderful, familiar sense of excitement that I've had since I was probably 5 or 6 years old, I think. And we lifted off the runway, wonderful euphoric sense, until the pilot started to bank to the right. And my initial survival instinct kicked in, telling me, what the hell are you doing, Ben? You know, you could fall out of this aeroplane, you could break your neck and splatter all over the bottom of the earth. And my heart started to beat fast, my chest started to tighten out, and those familiar chemicals of stress started to pump around the body. And I realised that actually I wasn't going to enjoy myself unless I got myself into a much better frame of mind. And I think that's at the point we need to make those choices in life, isn't it? That we add that level of sophistication, the emotional intelligence into our initial instinctive need for survival. So I took some deep breaths in through my nose and closed my eyes to just focus a little bit, and I ended up having a really amazing flight. And I wouldn't say by any means that by the time I got on the runway I was completely fearless, because that's unrealistic, isn't it? We can't overcome our fears just on the first takeoff, as it were. We have to continue to do it time and time again before we actually start to dominate that fear and it doesn't dominate us. And when we were taxiing in, I was thinking, well, in my past I probably spent so much time trying to pretend that I'm not scared of things, be the sort of typical or alpha male. But actually, it's so much of a relief to fess up to it. So I spoke to the pilot and just said, listen, I felt really quite nervous. And I think he was probably slightly surprised, but actually he looked very relieved. And we had a very good chat about it. And there was that sense of sort of camaraderie and that bonding between us. And I think that's the point, isn't it? That when we open ourselves up to the way we really feel, try and add some intelligence to our fears and talk about it with other people, we become human, they become human, and we have a much better chance of facing those fears and having the courage to overcome them than we don't if we try and isolate ourselves. Anyway, let me know what you think in that box below, and in the meantime, keep it in the greens.